it? Adam, do you know what it is?
It's a Triumph.
Yeah, 1964.
All right, got the car out here at Atlanta Welding headquarters. I'm going to pull the transmission, see if I can find any problems. Speculating that the sprag has rolled or has spun. Seems to be what several people think could be the issue. So pull the transmission out, get that out of there, get it up on the bench, and pull it apart and see what's going on. Alright, so I got this transmission pulled apart, and it does look like the sprag was rolled. So the little bearings are all rolled out. They were catching. It was free rotating both directions. Supposed to turn and then lock, turn counterclock and lock clock. This one was just literally just spinning in there, and you can see where it was making contact with the retainer up here. So looks like all I have to do is swap that out, which I've done. There's a new sprag in there. And now I just gotta put everything back together. Alright, car's back together. This was actually the problem. The intermediate sprag. You can see where it's made some contact with the case or the backside of the drum, and here. And one of these, or two of these, are pretty worn down. You can see right here where the face of it has been milled down a little bit. Anyways, after replacing this and then putting the new one in backwards and doing it all over again, it looks like everything is in order. So next thing to do is fix the fuel pump issue. Really shouldn't have been running it the way it was. The fuel pressure was falling a lot, so it would start at say 60 pounds at 0 psi, and then it's supposed to boost reference. For every pound of boost is supposed to increase the pressure of the fuel by 1 pound. So at 30 pounds of boost, it was actually doing more of the opposite, and I was only at like 40 psi, sometimes 50 psi of fuel pressure. So I did replace one of the pumps at the track, and that did not fix the issue. So gotta look into that. There is one thing I did notice, that it's a dual 450 Walbro setup, and it has a Holly hat, 12 bolt hat that has a little pass through. One of those pass throughs that the fuel hose goes into from the pump seemed a little loose. So it may be possible that when it starts to build pressure, that it's just kind of pushing past that seal in there. So I'm going to look into that. If that doesn't fix it, then I'm going to have to change the setup, either with the fuel pump or it's an issue with the regulator. So I do need to check, put some air pressure to the regulator and make sure, like at idle, I'll put like maybe 5-10 pounds of pressure on it and make sure the fuel pressure actually goes up at idle, like, you know, as if it was making boost. Make sure that diaphragm and everything is still working properly. So a few other small details. I have to look at my list and actually see what all the details are. There were a few other little things that we had some issues with. So I'm hoping that the intermediate sprag helps or fixes the issue that it was having trying to get up on the brake. I'm pretty sure, I'm fairly confident that's all that the problem was. The other issue I had at the track was these plug wires are terrible. Routing them down through here It's just awful. I'm going to relocate these spoils down here somewhere and then get some regular plug wires. Those boots are terrible. I had one of them in the tech line was completely off, and then I found 3 other that were loose, 4 burnt plug wires. So that very first pass that we made, the 779, may very well have been on 7 cylinders, or potentially a little bit less at some points during the run. Well, after that, you see, it doesn't want to get on the 2-step. The car can't even get past 2,000 RPM. I'm pretty sure it's because the sprag and the converter is also messed up. So I'm going to see about getting that fixed, but I want to do a race in Bradenton Streetcar Takeover in just like 2 weeks' time. So I don't think I can get the converter for the 4L80 in time. So I think what I'm going to try to do is put in my Power Glide that was in the 240. I have to do something about the drive shaft. Drive shaft's going to be too short. I'm also going to have to make a cross member for the transmission. The 4L80 is a good 5 inches longer, and also the cross member is probably about right here at the end of the tail housing. So I'm going to lift this thing up for the 4th time, pull the converter, pull the trans out for the 4th time, and see if I can't get this Power Glide in there. The only thing that kind of sucks is I have to cut this top ear off. I don't use it on a on an LS, so it's not going to matter for me. But if I ever wanted to sell it, somebody might say something about it, depending on if they're going to use it for an LS or a small block Chevrolet. Small block Chevrolet, like this one over here, it can utilize the top bolt, but you see this transmission right here, it doesn't even use the top bolt, so may not be a deal breaker. Just a quick lop that deal off, and then yeah, get it in there. The 240 and the Triumph were very close to the same weight, 2,400 pounds. So that converter should be fine in it. I've got another air shifter for the Power Glide. And so pretty much just drive shaft, rear cross member, or transmission cross member.